Hi, and welcome to another edition of Onside SA, the soccer show. Things are really turning now, especially on last one standing. We had two sets of games for last one standing, and Budge, it's been a major collapse.
Yeah, carnage, Paul. Some results you just can't see.
Yeah,
a lot of boys went out with Wolves.
I got week 5 and week 6 in front of me. So let's just go through week 5. The boys that went out, Leicester City, 59
Yeah, they got beat by Cardiff. It cost us a bet. Madison missed a penalty, 10 minutes to go, and Cardiff scored an injury time.
Tottenham, a dreadful second half, 21 wins.
Yeah.
Watford, 8. I'm never, ever taking Watford again. To me, the league exists without Watford. 3 times I've gone out with Watford. The ones that got beat 4-0 at home.
Yeah.
Everton, 5 went. They're up and down, eh?
Yeah, there's quite a few.
And West Ham, 2 wins. So after week 5, we had a situation where Man United 14, Man City 10, Liverpool 4, Fulham 3, and Chelsea 1. Then we went into the games that had just gone by, week 6. People through, Spurs took 9 through, Wolves took 9 out. Yeah. Man United took 2-3, West Ham lost 5, Chelsea lost 4, Arsenal took 1 through, Everton. When do they play? Tonight?
Everton got beat by Leicester. I mean, Alan Corlett went out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And Liverpool is the tonight game. Sorry, that's right. So at this stage, 9 and 2, 11 and 1, 12.
Yeah, Liverpool tonight,
yeah.
So Neil Napier will be...
is he on?
He's a Liverpool boy. So
and he's on him.
He's on Liverpool,
Just to let you know that the guys that we think can win it, Budge has gone through and analysed which teams have been utilised. And Gareth Petzer gone favourite with 2 picks.
Gareth's got 2 picks. He's done great. He started with 3.
Maybe his old man's influencing him.
Well, maybe he isn't. But no, he's done well. And
Hilton Wiets and Mark Fourie.
Well, those are the 2 guys. We had to have the betting.
Trevor's son, Mark.
Yeah, Trevor's son, Mark's done great. He was on Arsenal last week. Hilton's used a lot of the lesser teams.
Yes.
So he'd be toed favourite, Paul. But
what about Gary Citron? He came in with a bit of a fanfare.
Yeah,
he's still in.
He came in, thought he knew, then he was panicking, and all of a sudden he's got the bit between his teeth. So he's going well, Gary. Yeah.
Guillaume.
Well, Guillaume must be listening to what I'm tipping, or maybe he's going opposite to what I'm tipping. But Guillaume's in. The only Gold Circle employee still left in, Guillaume.
Is that right, eh?
Yeah.
So Budge, looks like one of these guys could win it.
Well, you never know, Paul. A lot of them have still got Liverpool to use the next game. So the Liverpool at Brighton. Yeah. So we'll see, yeah?
Yeah, well, that's
right. And another member, former winner still in, Ernie Wallace.
Is he still? Because George Salensis went out last week.
Yeah, Georgie went out last week, yeah.
Okay, Stevie B's in the London studio. The new year is up and running, and good to have Steve. Steve, are you with us?
I am. Good morning.
Morning, Steve.
Steve, how's your mood after watching Southampton pick up a point against Chelsea last night?
Yeah, I mean, it was a fairly dour game, I have to say. To be fair to Southampton, they sort of dug in and made it hard for Chelsea. But, Chelsea are just not firing on not all cylinders. They're nowhere near all cylinders. I mean, I think Southampton had a game plan of trying to stop Hazard, and it worked because, Morata just looks sort of lost up front there. And, you can't see Chelsea, in all honesty, after what I saw last night, challenging the top 3 this season. Yeah,
I agree. I just see Hazard and 10 others. Yeah, that's how I look at it.
I mean, and you looked at the bench, and they brought on Loftus-Cheek early because William was injured. There was nothing on the bench that could bring on to change it. So it was, I was disappointed as a Fulham fan, but Southampton, just about, I would say they deserved. They had a bit of good fortune. The goalkeeper made a couple of saves with bits of his body, not his hands. But otherwise, Chelsea didn't create anywhere near enough for a team in the top 4.
Yeah, Steve, a few bad results for your Fulham boys last night.
Yeah, I think that, ultimately we can't rely on other teams. I mean, we've got to start doing it for ourselves. We didn't need Burnley to win, but the truth is, Huddersfield 8 defeats in a row. Any team that finishes below Huddersfield are relegated. Basically, I can't see them moving off the bottom.
Steve, I watched that Arsenal-Fulham game. Sessegnon's got to get it right. He could have put you guys comfortably in the lead.
He just cut out.
They're just talking about Sessegnon's 2 misses against Arsenal, the runaway.
We can't. I mean, I was up at Anfield, and while it was 0-0, he was put clean through, and I just think the pressure's getting to him a little bit. All of a sudden, in the Championship, he was sort of scoring goals for fun, and I think this season, all of a sudden, there he is in playing in front of 60,000 and not 15,000, and there is pressure.
Yeah.
You still have to remember he's still only 18. But when you get those chances, you've got to take them, because we get in the Premiership, you don't get a second chance. You get punished. And defensively, we were weak again, having actually played quite well in patches.
Yeah, I agree. Steve, talking about your boys Fulham, what's the latest with the signings? I know Cahill. Is there any news on Danny Drinkwater?
It's really gone a bit quiet. I mean, I was hopeful that they would try and do some business in the first week, because
get them in.
Our next league game is Saturday week at Burnley.
Yes.
Now, we know that it looks like Alfie Mawson could be out for a while with his damaged his knee again. You can't go to Burnley with a weak defence, because if they beat us, having won 2 in a row, all of a sudden they could be 7 points clear, not 4 points clear. So I just think we've got to do some business soon and get 1 or 2 sort of defenders in.
Yeah, you do leak a lot of goals, Steve.
Steve, talking about the relegation fight, there's 5 teams in it. Who do you think's going down? Obviously, we don't want Fulham to go down on your side.
Well, yeah, I mean, at the moment, we probably are in one of the 3 favourites. I mean, Huddersfield, I think, no question. And then I think it is going to be between Huddersfield, Fulham, Burnley, Southampton,
Cardiff
and Newcastle. I think those are probably the 6 teams. It's going to perm any 3 from 6. They often say there's often a team that gets sucked into it, but the teams above, there's Palace have sort of started to claw their way out of it. Teams like sort of Brighton, I thought they were going to get sucked in, but they've just picked up sort of some points. So, teams like Brighton or Bournemouth or players like that are going to have a really bad run, because I think you might not need more than about 34 points this year.
That's interesting. 34.
It's going to be. People keep saying, like Fulham have got 14 points, but it's not about the points you've got now. It's about the difference between, the 3rd and 4th from bottom. So at the moment, that's 4 points.
Yeah, and don't Huddersfield play Cardiff next week?
Yeah, Huddersfield have got Cardiff next. So
it's another big
Huddersfield,
game.
8 defeats in a row. I mean, yesterday, Steve Mounier scored. It's his first goal of the season. It's the first forward to score for Huddersfield this season, and they're into the 21st game. Yeah. I mean, they're
gone. They're gone and forgotten.
You can't see them staying up.
No chance.
They're fighting and they're trying hard, but they just haven't got enough quality up front to score the goals to keep them up.
Steve, talking of quality, obviously the big game tonight, Man City, Liverpool. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, maybe it's too early to say it's a title decider, but if Liverpool go there sort of all guns blazing and pull off a win and 10 points clear, you'd think
then it's close to over.
You think they're going to take some catching. I think Liverpool would take a draw. I mean, they're obviously clear anyway. City know they've got to win this. So I think, I hope it's a really exciting game, not a sort of a game where they sort of cancel each other out for a 0-0.
Yeah, I don't see that happen.
They can't afford to
go
lose.
for it,
City cannot afford to lose. Yeah, that's. Can you hear me, Steve? Steve, can you hear me?
Sorry, you just cut out there, Paul.
Sorry, every time I talk to you, it's being cut out. Let Budge talk to you.
Steve, on to the FA Cup this week, which kicks off. Now, I know, it's not the easiest to pick. Any fancies to win it?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is very hard nowadays. Even though they rest players in the early rounds, it's hard to bet against one of the big teams from winning it. I think United will have a cup run. I just think that's. I've just got a sneaky feeling United can have a cup run. I think Solskjaer coming in. Obviously, they've won their first 4. Whether they hit the top 4, I think the way that Arsenal and Chelsea are playing at the moment,
it's possible.
United keep this little run going, they've got a good chance. When you think a few weeks, 4 games ago, they had no chance.
Yeah.
So I might pump for United this year.
Yeah, I agree. I hope you're right, Steve. I think that's the hard part about the FA Cup, especially with the Champions League. Speaking to my brother who runs the Soccer Hall of Fame in America, and he was saying the only 2 teams United don't want to draw is Man City and Liverpool, because they'll be forced, because of the rivalry, to play strong teams. He said, but any of the other teams, he says, I think they'll beat. So he's on United as well. So hopefully you 2 boys know what you're talking about. Yeah.
You're bloody getting ahead of yourselves.
The shame is that even teams, when you look at, if you're talking about potential upsets, is that in the past, if a Championship team was playing at home to a Premiership team, and the Premiership team rested some players, the Championship have got a good chance. But the Championship teams are resting players as well. So you end up with a Championship team's reserves against a Premiership team's reserves, and it's very difficult to predict some of these. It would be nice if you got a League One team maybe pull off a shock, because generally if they're playing a bigger team, they're going to play their stronger side.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, especially taking a lot of fans. I see. I think it's
Portsmouth. Oldham are playing at Fulham on Sunday. I understand they're bringing close to 4,000 fans. This is it's not much less than their average home gate. So it's obviously still a big draw for the smaller teams. And at least it will push our gate up a bit.
Yeah. Talking about upsets, Steve, have you found a couple for us?
Well, when you look at it, I mean, it's sort of the sort of things. If teams like, for example, Stoke City sort of rest players, Shrewsbury could give them a good game. They had a good cup run recently.
Yes.
I can't see. I mean, the first game is Tranmere Tottenham, which is on telly on Friday. I can't see Tranmere upsetting Spurs, whoever they put out.
Yeah.
Is that on Friday?
They play Friday night. Tranmere Spurs.
It's on the box too.
Chelsea Forest now. Chelsea will rest all their stars.
Yeah. Well, they've got League Cup and
Forest might do the same.
Yeah.
Although having said that, Crank is still in a bit of trouble. Maybe he wants to put a strong team out. So they had, obviously had a great result against Arsenal last year. So it'd be an interesting one.
Yeah.
Things like Newcastle, Blackburn might be interesting. I know if Blackburn play a strong team.
Yeah.
I think they could give Newcastle a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's some managers that are under severe pressure, like Karanka. I think like Paul Lambert at Ipswich too. He's under severe pressure. So for him to take a lesser team to Accrington and get knocked out, I don't think the owners will be chuffed.
I think that's the thing. Someone like Paul, he's in a no-win situation because if he rests players because he thinks he needs to save them for the for the league program, and they lose to Accrington, then the fans will be bang for his head. But if he plays a strong team and gets through, but then one or two players get injured and are not available for the next league game, so but winning's a habit, and I think I know that Fulham are bound to rest the big stars, and I don't want to see Mitrovic playing against Oldham, but I think winning is a good thing. So I hope we play a strongish team, and I hope he plays a strong back four or back five just to keep them sort of used to playing with each other.
Steve, changing course. Steve Bruce to Sheffield Wednesday. I heard that's confirmed.
Yeah, I mean that's he's starting to run out of clubs to go to in the Championship. He's been to so many, but I think that's a good move for him and the club. I mean, he knows his way around the Championship. He's got enough teams up before. The guy they brought in before, Joss.
Lehuka, the Dutch.
Really didn't do very well. I know they've got some FFP issues, but 2 years ago they were favourites to go up on the playoffs. For 2 years running, and the last season and a half they've been very poor by their own standards. So I'm not surprised. I think that's a good move for him. Yeah,
I agree. And all the Aston Villa fans were over the moon that they fired him. They aren't going too well without him, yeah?
Yeah, no, I think the thing is, I mean, he's not everyone's cup of tea, and he doesn't play the most attractive football, but I think Sheffield Wednesday sort of need a bit of stability and need somebody who knows the Championship well. When you look at who there is around, it's not a bad move, I think.
No, it's a safe choice. You don't want to get dragged into the relegation battle.
No, exactly. And they have been dragged. They've had some sort of very indifferent results Wednesday this season.
Yeah. Steve, thanks very much. You take care.
What's he got in the last one standing?
No, he's trying to have a go at you.
Well, I was going to say there aren't many left at all. Whoever, if I was still in, whoever I've got my money on, are bound to go out because I'm obviously. I was very pleased. I got through to round 4. Who would have put money on Man City losing at home? So.
Steve, one last question: who will win tonight?
I'm going to go with Liverpool. I think if there was going to be a winner, I'm going to go with Liverpool. I know City have got to win, but I just think it's I think it's their time, and they're playing some not so much. They're not playing the sort of cavalier football as they did before. But the fact they've conceded so few goals. I think that's the key, and if they keep a clean sheet tonight, I think that and we know Michael Aboud's going to be a very happy bunny if they win this one. He'll be breaking out the champagne soon.
Yeah, Stevie, thanks very much, pal.
Pleasure. Cheers. Bye.
Cheers. Bye. Yeah, very interesting. He went. I'm leaning towards a draw tonight, but the league, Man City have to win or draw.
Yeah, they've got to go for it.
Got to go for it. They've got the players to go for it, you know.
I agree.
A couple of things I want to talk about. We know the Premier League standings, and let's wait till after the game of that. But there's a couple of other things I just wanted to just touch on with you, Budge. The FA Cup outright betting, Man City favourites. So they're still the respected team.
Well, you have to, Paul. You look at their squad.
7-2.
Yeah. You know, the thing against Man City for me is that they play the kids they did in the League Cup, and they've sneaked through. They've got Champions League. I think they've got Skulker in the last 16, so they should beat them. Then you start getting into the quarterfinals, and they've got two of the League Cup. They're in this League Cup semi-final. There's plenty of games. They're going to rest the big players. And I just think there's an upset waiting to happen. Last year they got beat at Wigan. You know, I wouldn't be taking 7-2, especially when the Champions League is first and foremost on their list, especially if it doesn't go well tonight.
The big six are all there. They dominate the betting. You know, Everton next out at 16.
Yeah, I can't have Everton, Paul. They just
West Ham and Wolves. Wolves are a bit going.
You know, Wolves were the lurker for me, but they're just so inconsistent, Paul. You know,
like
they play well against the top teams, but you know.
No, but it's FA Cup fixtures.
Yep, FA Cup this week.
Right,
Paul,
let's go through the FA Cup game before we talk about the local soccer.
Yeah, Paul, obviously it kicks off. I didn't put the Tottenham Tranmere game on Friday. Spurs were like 1-10.
What do you think they'll do? They'll throw in a lot of
players. You know, they play League Cup in midweek next week. It's League Cup against Chelsea. So the boys have had a busy schedule. If you don't play the guys that haven't been playing, well, what's the use of having a squad? You
know, you're absolutely. You're in a game like that, especially Tranmere.
Tranmere away. It'll be a mud heap.
Grazinha, they'll play Davis, they'll play Aurea if he's fit. Vertonghen hasn't played for a long time. Across the middle, I know Dembele's going to be on the travelling list soon, but there's Wanyama.
You've got Winks. You've got plenty of players, Paul.
Dyer.
You know, Son goes.
Lamela. We've got plenty of players.
You just got to play them, Paul.
Yeah, Lucas Moura
will play. What's the big centre forward? Is he still there?
Loriente.
Yeah, you just got to play them, Paul. You've got plenty of kids, so they say.
Jansen's still on the books.
Jeez, the Dutchman up front.
It? Yeah, the Jansen's still on the books. I couldn't believe it. I was looking at their team. But let's go from Saturday, Budge.
Yeah.
And
a lot of lunchtime kickoffs or 2:30 kickoffs our time, Paul.
Yeah.
You know, Bournemouth, Brighton, you know, they both got plenty of injuries. I can see goals in this one. I like Brighton of the two teams.
Brighton got 2 goals away from home last night.
You know, they drew at West Ham 2-2, but Bournemouth was a
good
cracker.
Game.
Yeah, Bournemouth, Watford. I just think Eddie Howe's got a lot of injuries. Aki's struggling. He's going to rest a lot of players.
Good player, Aki.
You know, of course, from Chelsea. You know, I like, of the two teams, Paul, I like Brighton.
You know, 7-2.
7-2. I think it's 8-10 win and draw Brighton. So that's our play in that game, you know.
Okay. Barnsley.
Well, Burnley, they won their last 2, Paul. You'd expect them to beat Barnsley, but Barnsley are 4th in League One. They're going well.
7-10 is a good price.
It should be, Paul, but you know he's going to rest all these players. You know, they've got Fulham at home in the next game, in the next league. So he's going to rest everybody that's been playing. So he's going to rotate his squad. You never know. It should be Burnley, Paul, but you know, these League One teams are going to come in, take a lot of supporters. They're going to have a full go. So don't be surprised.
Now Luton Town go to Sheffield Wednesday.
I like Luton of the two teams, Paul. You know, Luton are top of league. Second in league. They haven't lost in 13. Wow. They've won 10 and drawn 3 of the last 13. If ever there's an upset, that could be the one. You know, Steve Bruce has come in since he's been announced. They've come right Sheffield Wednesday. But they're going to rotate their squads, you know.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
So that's the problem. So Luton will play their best team. They got nothing to lose. So don't be surprised if that goes to a replay.
Would you take 7-10 West Brom?
No. You know, likewise, you know, they've got a big game next week. I think they play Leeds United. So he's going to rest his players. It's first against third. He's going to go for it. If you're in automatic promotion, Paul, the last thing you need is an FA Cup run.
No, that's
You know, we're going to ride terrible away from home. And they had a good run last year. Then they got to the quarterfinals last year.
West Ham, Birmingham, good game?
It should be. You know, West Ham, if ever there's a team that should go for it, it's West Ham. They 8th, 9th, 10th in the league. They're comfortable. They're safe. But Gary Monk's team, you know, they're like 4 points outside the playoff places. So he could be resting players too. You've got to think West Ham will have a full go in the FA Cup.
Yeah, West Ham came back last night.
Yeah, 2 down, came back to 2-2. Knocked a few of the boys out. But West Ham 4-10, Paul. There should be good things, yeah.
Okay, if that's the case, let's look at...
Shrewsbury Stoke, you know, Steve's right. You know, Shrewsbury had a good cup run a while back, but they've only lost one of the last 13 at home. Now, Stoke City... If they don't get in the playoffs, that manager Gary Wright, he's fired. So he's going to rotate his players. Peter Crouch will start and a few others. 9-10 looks appetising, Paul, but it's not for me.
Yeah. Okay. Accrington, Stanley, Ipswich. Ipswich are struggling. Bottom of the log.
But this is, I said to Steve, if you're Paul Lambert, you've won one of your 9 league games, you've got to get the confidence somehow.
Yeah.
Accrington Stanley, they're in League One. It's the smallest club in the Football League. I think they only have 5,000 people at their ground. I fancy Ipswich, Paul. I think 19 to 10 is a good bet.
Good game, Aston Villa, Swansea.
It should be. Aston Villa, Paul, they've fallen, they've drifted away. The fans aren't happy at the moment.
Yeah,
so they've got to have a full go against Swansea. I know, there'll be 40,000 there at Villa Park. I think 9 to 10 is a good bet, Paul.
Okay. Derby County, going well?
Well, going well. Southampton, great result at Chelsea, but they're in the
well.
relegation battle. Are they going to go for it? I don't think they will.
I'm listening to their coach. The coach said he's got 4 goalkeepers.
Yeah.
The guy who played yesterday, his father was a great keeper.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of his name. They brought him in. He said he's definitely playing the next 2 games.
Oh.
And Mark Alone said, I've been following this keeper's career.
Yeah.
Gunn. I think his name was Gunn.
Yeah, Gunn. Bryn Gunn was his dad, played for Norwich. Yeah.
That's right. His son, he said, I've been following him. He's a top goalkeeper. And I watched him.
Yeah.
He kept a clean sheet against Chelsea yesterday. And he plays again, so he's going to start.
Yeah,
but he said, I'm changing players.
He has to.
I have to look at them. He said, I don't
the
know
FA
them.
Cup has no value. You get relegated, it costs you big money.
Yeah.
So why have a go? And Frank Lampard's at Derby. They got to the quarterfinals. They beat Man United in the League Cup.
Yeah.
Chelsea knocked them out of in the quarterfinals of the League Cup. So I think Derby can cause an upset. He's not going to rest players, Frank Lampard. He's on a mission.
Yeah. But it'd be magnificent if he can get promoted.
Well, they're
for
just
his
below
career. He's 6th.
Going well, yeah.
Gillingham, Cardiff City.
Well, what is Neil Warnock going to do? He's not going to rest. He's going to rest all these big players. So if ever there could be an upset, but it's just that Gillingham, they're not going well in League One.
No,
Paul.
they're not a good side. They're 18th place, 17th, 2 leagues
pits,
above.
Anything could be possible in that game.
Cardiff have to win. Okay, let's go on then.
Yeah.
Bristol City against Huddersfield Town.
Huddersfield, as Steve said, lost all the last 8 league games. Now, what is he going to do? He's boost confidence and play their best team and get beat by Bristol. Bristol City are unbeaten in 8. They're a good cup team over the years.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised if it's 9 in a row that Huddersfield get beat there.
Norwich, Portsmouth.
Well, this is my upset of the round, Paul. Portsmouth, Kenny Jackett, remember the guy was at Watford, the centre half. He's got them going. Norwich, while they're going well in the league, they're not going to want a good cup run. He's going to rotate the players, Daniel Farke, the German coach. Don't be surprised if Portsmouth turn up and upset them, Paul.
Millwall, Hull City.
This should be a cracker. Now, Hull City have won their last 5 league games.
Oh, yeah. I want to tell
Millwall,
you that the Spurs are trying to buy a guy. I think
he's a winger. I think
he's Bowen. He's very left-footed. They sent me a clip, my Spurs boys, of about 15 of this guy's games. He's quite chunky.
Everyone's trying to sign him, Paul.
He's quite chunky.
Yeah.
Very left-footed. But he goes past players.
Yeah.
He's a good player. He's been instrumental in
Well, their coach, Nigel Atkins, came on. He says, we're not selling him unless it's big money. Because he still thinks they can get into playoff places.
He was up for 5 million, so it's going to go up then.
Yeah, they've won the last. But now Millwall have always been a good cup team, Paul, especially at home. A couple of years they knocked out Leicester and Bournemouth in the cup.
But Hull have beaten the top seed sides in their league.
Well, they beat Leeds away.
That's right.
But what's he going to do? Is he going to play all these top players? He's going to rest them?
Can he get promoted? He's 13th.
Well, you just got to get into the playoff. I think they're like 8 points behind the playoff places, Paul. You have a good run. You can slowly sneak your way back in. I wouldn't be taking even money Millwall, even though at home they're a force, But
QPR Leeds lead the league. They got beat last week. QPR got beat.
QPR, as you call him, the Wally with the Broddle, Steve McLaren, but they're hard to beat at Loftus Road.
Yeah.
What are Leeds going to do? They got West Brom next week. He did in the League Cup. Preston knocked them out. He made 8 changes. He's not going for this FA Cup, Bielsa, the Argentinian. So don't be surprised if QPR don't beat them. But I think there'll be goals in that, Paul.
The Monday night game, Wolves versus Liverpool.
What are Liverpool going to do? They've got Bayern Munich.
A squad.
They've got a great squad. He's going to rotate. They've got Man City tonight. They've got to win that. I think this is the least of their worries, the FA Cup. If they get knocked out, I think it'll be a blessing for Liverpool. Don't be surprised if this goes to a replay, Paul.
Okay. Right, let's move on. Let's move to South African soccer. There's been some changes in KZN, the province. What's his firing? Fadlu Davids.
They were struggling, Paul. They hadn't scored a goal. I think they scored 3 goals in 9 league games. They were struggling. They couldn't win at home. Now, last year they finished 3rd.
Yeah,
they're second bottom. They sold a couple of his best players, so he was always going to struggle. Is it a panic move? I don't think so.
Mushin Ertugal, to me, I can't have him.
I can't have him either. Watch him at Pirates. When we spoke earlier, he shelved that goalkeeper. Brilliant, because why when they lost 6, I think it was 6-0 to Supersport. I didn't like his antics.
I don't like his attitude, man.
I don't like him either, but he's Can he get them? Can he save them? Well, I don't think he'd do any worse than Fadlu
Who's
Davids.
below them?
It's
Who's bottom of the log? Is it not Barocca? No.
no, crikey. That's Maritzburg. Oh, sorry, well, it'll come to me
Maritzburg
now.
is second,
Yeah.
bottom, yeah.
I think
Golden Arrows, Clinton Lawson's gone.
Clinton, yeah, he was there
Did he
3
walk?
years. Yeah, he walked. There was mutual agreement.
Steve Campella in.
He walked, yeah.
Steve left Free State.
Steve was at Bloemfontein Celtic.
Celtic.
Wasn't happy with the financial situation. They wanted to buy players. The players reportedly were getting paid late. So he wasn't happy. And he's walked, yeah.
No money in the Free State.
No money in the Free State, yeah.
Right, let's look at our PSL fixtures.
Yeah.
Eh? Chipper versus Bloem.
Well, Chipper at home, they're struggling, Paul. But
Yeah, they're
their
way
home
down the
form
log.
isn't too bad. And with Steve leaving, I just wonder what is going to happen to the players. Who's going to take over?
Yeah,
Steve Campella, classy player, and he was a good coach.
Yeah.
2-1 Chipper. I'd be going Chipper in the draw, but I don't think the odds would be too great. But I don't see Chipper getting beat.
Polokwane, Amazulu.
Yeah, I fancy Amazulu to get something out of this. They won 4. They got beat
Playing
by
well.
Black Leopards in the last game. Polokwane, funny team, but the last 5 home games, they've only won 1. Don't be surprised if that's a draw, Paul.
You know, the match of the round's got to be Chiefs against Sundowns.
Well, that was the opening game of the season. Chiefs have got Biddendorf back there. I like Sundowns. I think it's
Sundowns.
25 games they haven't lost league games. Yeah, they've both been playing in CAF
They
competitions.
nearly lost last time.
Yeah.
There was a Natal team.
Who was that? Sundowns.
Amazulu. Yeah, who? I watched the game. Was
Now,
it?
Chiefs got beat by Golden Arrows in the last game.
Sundowns. Was it Sundowns? Yeah, there was a 3-3 draw or 2-2 draw.
It was Amazulu.
It was Amazulu, that's right. They played well, Amazulu.
Yeah, Amazulu play.
Amazulu can play. I watched that. The game against Sundowns, they should have won.
Yeah, I like Sundowns of the 2 teams, Paul,
Yeah.
but likewise, tight draw wouldn't surprise me. You'd have to think Gavin would have his charges fired up after the Christmas break.
Yeah.
Free State Stars, they've changed managers. They've got a new Serbian manager. So I think it'll take a bit of time to work his team out, but I think 8 to 10 Wits.
Highlands Pirates.
Well, Pirates unbeaten 11. But Highlands Park, I watched them play against the Maritzburg. They're well organised. Owen de Gama's got them organised. They drew the first game, so don't be surprised if it's another draw.
Supersport Cape Town City.
Supersport at home, Paul. They don't get beat. I think they won 6 of the last 8. But Benny's got Cape Town City going well. They won 4-7, only lost 1. I think there'll be goals in that game, Paul. Don't be surprised if that's a draw.
Barocca, Black Leopards.
Well, Barocca won the Telkom knockout. If ever there's a chance for them to... I think Barocca's bottom of the league. I think if ever there's a chance for Barocca to start improving, this is it. Black Leopards, Dylan Kerr's just taken over them. They played early on in the year. Barocca beat them fairly easily. I think 13-10 Barocca, Paul, even that is a local derby.
And then Golden Arrows, Maritzburg.
Yeah, I like Golden Arrows. Maritzburg can't score, and I don't see Ertegrol changing that in a hurry. I think 14-10 Golden Arrows is a good bet, Paul.
Okie dokie. So that's very, very interesting. Right, let's go on to Soccer 6, Budge.
Yep, one of the 6 stars.
Tell me your thinking.
Yeah, the PSL one, I've banked Wits, and I've obviously gone win and draw the balance. I like Sundowns of the 2 teams. I think that could be a draw. Sundowns win and draw at Kaizer Chiefs. I've gone Amazulu to get a positive result in Polokwane. Alaves, Valencia. Alaves unbeaten in the last 9 at home. I don't see Valencia beating them, but I've thrown the draw in as well. I've had to find a banker. I think Wits are as good as banker as they are in the Soccer 6. I've banked Wits to win at Free State Stars. I've gone Orlando Pirates win and draw against Highlands Park. And I've thrown the draw in with Benny's team. I've gone Supersport United win and draw against Cape Town City.
Okie dokes. That's your Soccer 6. The
PSL.
other one?
Yeah, the Premiership one. I've gone the field with Bournemouth and Brighton.
Yeah.
I think Man United will beat Reading. I've thrown the field, looking for the upset with Shrewsbury Stoke City. I think West Ham will beat Birmingham. I've gone Burnley win and draw at home against Barnsley, and I've sided with Derby to get a good result against Sheffield United, 2-1-6.
You mean Southampton?
Southampton, sorry.
Yeah. Okie doke. Let's go look at the 10.
Yeah, the Soccer 10, I've gone the field with Bournemouth and Brighton. I've banked Man United to beat Reading. I've banked West Ham to beat Birmingham. I've sided with Aston Villa to beat Swansea. I've thrown the draw and looking for the upset Chelsea against Nottingham Forest. Yep. I've gone win and draw Derby County against Southampton. I've gone Cardiff City win and draw at Gillingham. I've banked Arsenal to beat Blackpool. I've gone the field with Bristol City and Huddersfield. And I've gone Newcastle win and draw at home against Blackburn, 288.
288. And the big one. How are the big ones looking? They're getting harder.
Getting
harder, man. See the results.
13 million last week. 3
Any
winners.
winners?
3.
They shared 13
I
million.
think 12 out of 13 was 50-odd thousand.
Wow.
We had 9, Paul. But anyway,
Yeah, it's not
it was
easy.
and
Not
Spurs
easy.
got beat at home. There were some
Yeah,
terrible results.
Leicester, Spurs,
Just
some
don't
bad
see it
results.
coming. So whoever got the 13 million, good luck. Yeah, this week's the Soccer 13. I banked at Aston Villa to beat Swansea. I banked at Arsenal to win at Blackpool. I've gone Chelsea, win and draw against Notts Forest. I banked at Everton to beat Lincoln. I've gone Newcastle United, win and draw against Blackburn Rovers. I've banked at Bolton to beat Walsall. I've gone Derby County, win at home against Southampton, win and draw, sorry. I've sided with Cardiff City, win and draw at Gillingham. I've gone Middlesbrough, win and draw at home against Peterborough, knowing that Tony Pulis is going to rest half of his key players.
Yeah.
I've gone the field with Bristol City and Huddersfield. I've banked at Crystal Palace to beat Grimsby. I'm looking for the upset. I've gone Portsmouth, win and draw at Norwich. And I've banked at Ipswich to beat Accrington Stanley, 326.
Okay, Budge, let's go on to the best part. Okay.
Yeah,
Right, Budge,
not the easiest.
talk me through these.
Yeah,
Your
I had to get a value into Man United. Man United's our player to win the FA Cup, 7-1. I think they'll be trying for it. Solskjaer looking for the job. And I've gone Bolton Wanderers. Bolton were 9-10 to beat Walsall. Now, they got beat 6-0 last week by Hull. But his job's on the line at Bolton. Walsall are struggling, so I think he plays best team to get a result. So I've gone Bolton to beat Walsall, United to win the Cup, 2,900 to 200. PSL quad, I've gone Golden Arrows to beat Maritzburg. I've gone Amazulu, win or draw at Polokwane. And I've gone both teams to score. Chiefs Sundowns, Supersport Cape Town City.
That's a good bet. I
Yeah,
like
the
that
odds,
one. I like it more than the top one.
Yeah, 3-6 to 200.
Okay, let's go on to the
Yeah, on to our win and draw.
file.
Yeah, I've gone Brighton, win and draw at Bournemouth. I've gone Derby, win and draw at against Southampton. I've gone Portsmouth to get a good result at Norwich. I've gone Wolves, win and draw at home against Liverpool. And I've gone Alaves to win or draw against Valencia.
Both teams to score. I
3,200.
like these
Yeah.
bets.
Yeah, I've gone Aston Villa, Swansea, Bournemouth, Brighton, Derby, Southampton. I've gone QPR, Leeds, and ended it with Wolves, Liverpool on Monday, 2,900 to 200.
Okay, the Spanish
On
omelet.
to the Spanish omelette. Yeah, it's the first week back from a couple of week break, Paul, so we'll see. I haven't thrown in many both teams to score. So I've gone Real Valladolid to win at home against Rayo Vallecano. Real Betis to beat Huesca away on Saturday. And I've gone Celta Vigo to beat Atletico Bilbao and over 2.5 total goals.
Yeah.
3,100 to 200. And the six or Nixer, it's all FA Cup games. I've gone Aston Villa to beat Swansea, Brentford to beat Oxford. I've gone Fulham to beat Oldham. I've gone Ipswich to beat Accrington Stanley. I've gone Sheffield United to beat Barnet. And I've gone West Ham to beat Birmingham, 3,700 to 200.
All right, Budge, the most popular part is obviously your bet. You've been so on song with the best bet and value bet.
Yeah.
And let's let you know, Budge's best bet this week is even money, so double your money on Bolton Wanderers. Bolton Wanderers, and then your value bet, Ipswich Town, 19 to 10.
I can't believe that, Paul. But, they're struggling. I just see Paul Lambert. If you were manager of Ipswich, you've got to get a result.
Yeah.
And it's like Bolton. They're in trouble. You've got to try and pick the spirit up. And the only way you can do that is by getting a result.
Yeah.
So Bolton to beat Walsall. And Walsall are struggling. It's not like they're going well.
Yeah.
So the fans are baying for blood at Bolton.
Yeah.
And I just like Ipswich. Accrington aren't going too well in League One. So I think Ipswich will get a result. Can't believe 19 to 10.
Budge, no last one standing?
Not this week, Paul. It's the following weekend. So that's why we did the midweek. Everybody got. Fortunately, all the guys were on side. So.
Okay, so that's the story, Budge. So Bolton Wanderers, Ipswich Town is the value bet. Bolton Wanderers is the best bet. Until next time, stay on side.